Hey everyone, this is Jen with, I was going to say Laughing Lotus Wellness, the female revolution. I'm like, where am I? What day is it? That's hilarious. Oh my God, my poor friend and guest here, Heather, is like, what in the hell just happened? So anyway, I'm going to welcome my dear friend Heather into the podcast. I'm so excited that we have her as a guest today. I am going to let her tell you a little bit about who she is and where she's been. And I want you to really buckle in. I adore Heather so much. She and I met in a business community years ago, and we ended up kind of in a more intimate group that we created with some other healers. And so we kind of did this entire business journey together. So I sort of feel like we've grown up children together. So
Yeah, it's like our business training wheels.
exactly, business training wheels and business babies that we were unearthing and creating, which is really, really fun. So you are going to learn so much from Heather, and she has such a beautiful style of how she approaches human design, which is what she's going to be talking about today. It is so relatable, understandable, and Heather did a reading for me. She was the first person I ever had do a human design reading for me. And I will tell you, it's hilarious because I really knew enough to be dangerous before I met Heather. And she's doing this process for me. And I'm like, it was the most unnerving experience in the most profound way. What I mean is this, and don't hear me in a bad way, having someone tell you about you that you just sent them your birthplace and date and time and all just, couple pieces of it. And all of a sudden, someone is able to tell you everything about you. It is wait, what? I mean, I had 4 pages of itsy bitsy notes because I wrote down like every single word she said as fast as I could. It is so profound. And human design has become something that I really, really love and appreciate and honor so much in terms of self-awareness. And I'll let Heather speak more to that again as well. But I just want to intro that she's magical, and I hope y'all are going to take notes, and I hope that you will connect with her if you have any interest in understanding these parts of who you are more effectively. Heather is going to walk you through that in the most beautiful way. So, Heather, welcome. I'm so glad to have you, and I cannot wait to share your wisdom and insight with the world on this podcast. So, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for that lovely introduction, Jen. It's such a pleasure to be here with you, and I'm so grateful for our friendship and that we've continued on after all these years.
Agree.
Really appreciate your support in my work.
Of
And
course, always.
I am Heather O'Donnell. High Vibe Heather is my
Woohoo!
business, and I
Mhm.
do human design readings and energy healing work. And I feel like human design is a form of energy healing in that it
Yes.
helps you understand yourself at the most basic energetic level. So
Mhm.
it's like your instruction manual for your own life.
Sure is. Sure is. Like I said, I was shocked. I think when I say unnerved, what I meant was I was shocked because the information is so powerful.
Yeah.
And so talk to me, Heather, like, so this is all about sauce and rebels and right what I stand for, and you know this, like it is big energy and it's big shifts and transformations and change, and I really support women in that journey. I think that's what we both do. I think we do it a little bit differently, but I think that's really what we're doing. So I think you and I have a very similar mission in some ways. How did you get into human design? I'm just
Yeah.
going to ask you like a story because like I always kind of love. I just did an origin story podcast with Toby Miles, who's amazing, and I really always like hearing like how did you arrive to this place? Like what happened that got you into human design, so that everybody that's listening kind of gets to know you a little bit.
So it was back in, I want to say 2017. I was going through a little bit of an existential crisis, I was,
Mhm.
man, 2017, I would have been maybe 38, 39 at the
Okay.
time.
Okay.
So coming up on that time of life where you really just start to examine yourself and you're like, either I'm on the right track and I'm heading where I want to go,
Yeah.
or I'm not. And it becomes
Yes.
so apparent at that point in
Yes.
time. And
Yeah.
so I was really on this like soul searching journey. And I was like studying Myers-Briggs and reading all of these like self-help books and just really getting into that world of self-development for the first time.
Hmm.
So I was hungry and I was open and I just wanted to understand who I was
Mm-hmm.
and where my life was going. More about my background. I became a mom at 19 and I got married at 23 and I now have three adult daughters, which is amazing. But I feel like so much of those formative years were spent pouring into other people, and I didn't get the opportunity to like really ground into who I am and know
Yeah.
who I was. And so
Yeah.
by this age, I was just like, what am I doing with my life? And so I happened to be on a business retreat with my husband at the time. That's a whole nother story. Uh,
That's a whole nother podcast. No.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
And another attendee had asked me for my birth information. I was like, all right, whatever, here you go. And then he pulled up my chart. I had no idea what he was talking about. And he just made one comment that intrigued me because he said, wow, you're really powerful. And at that time, I felt anything but that. And I was like, who the hell are you and what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, you must have the wrong person because
Yeah.
I was so lost in my life and felt very disempowered.
Sure.
But it, like I said, really intrigued me. So I went home and I was like, what is this human design stuff? And I bought a bunch of books and I studied it. And I just was like, whoa, this is so different from the Myers-Briggs and all of those other
It
personality
is.
tests
Yes.
because it wasn't subjective.
Right.
It was based on the stars. Like, this is,
Mm-hmm.
there's no way that I could say, like, well, I think I'm this way. But I don't agree with that, so I'm not want to take that on, whereas
Right.
Myers-Briggs is like you're taking an assessment and I would always answer how I want to be instead of how I am.
It's so true, though. You're like, I think I want to be a little more like this. I'm going to put that answer.
Yeah.
That's so true.
So because this was so objective,
Yeah.
I was like, I can't deny it. And so
Right.
I just began to like really become aware of different parts of myself that I had never noticed before.
Right.
The thing with human design that's fascinating is 50% of it is your unconscious
Mm-hmm.
and 50% is your conscious. So there's the
Mm-hmm.
part that's your personality, who you think you are,
Right. Right.
and then your design, who
Yes.
you actually are.
Yes.
And that's the unconscious part.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had a lot of unconscious reckoning to do and
Right.
really like seeing these parts of myself and deepening this self-awareness that I really never had.
Mm-hmm.
It was challenging and it took me a long time to like really start to own parts of
Mm-hmm.
myself that I
Mm-hmm.
just was completely unfamiliar with.
Mm-hmm.
And as I did that, I stepped into my power more and more. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
wait, your body tells you things about what's right and wrong for you?
Mm-hmm.
That's weird, you know? So then I like started experimenting with that and playing with that and being like, oh, wow. When I ignore those signals and I do the other thing because I'm overthinking it,
Right.
like I end up in a really terrible situation.
Right.
And then
Yep.
I just started replaying like my whole life up to that point, and
Mm-hmm.
thinking back to all these moments where I had made a decision based on what I thought I needed to do out of those
Right.
obligations, those shoulds, those like,
Yeah.
how can I make everyone around me happy?
The conditioned responses. So I
Yeah.
want everybody listening. She just spoke to the stuff that I'm telling y'all about how we need to undo that conditioning because we're exposed to so many ideas about what women are and how they should be and how you should be, and teachers and family and friends and media, right? So many things that tell us and inform us about who we are. And so I wanted to capture that, Heather, because it's something I talk so much about with my people is like letting go of those old ideas. And sometimes we almost have to break up with ourselves. In a weird,
Yeah.
sad, weird way. Like the one form of us that kind of feels like you said, that gets created by culture and the world and the people around us.
Yeah.
And also from this drive, we have this desire to be likable. to be
Yeah.
liked by other people. And so I think we sort of start to create this form of us. And it isn't that it's all fake or it's made, I'm not saying that about anybody, but I do think that human design is such a powerful way to get to know yourself again. That's the best way I can say it. It's like really coming home to yourself. And that's the work that I love doing with women. So I think it's such a beautiful puzzle piece. So I can see how important that role is in this piece. And so you had this experience where it was like, yep, I'm going through a moment. I'm going to reflect on my life. Is this where I want it to be? You find this beautiful practice. And so what for you, and you loved that it was about the stars, it was more sure. It felt more
Yeah.
like, right, like informative. Like I agree with you that Myers-Briggs feels very subjective, where I think human design is so much more clear. Okay, which is what
Yeah.
is so cool about it. Um, what did you take away from that then? Do you think as you started to dive in and like get to know yourself, what do you think some of your favorite gifts were that you received by leaning into human design?
Yeah. So the the one that just like really I thought was laughable is I have the channel of the alpha. And if
Okay.
you like know me, I'm so not that personality of like you would think an alpha is,
Yeah.
dominating, like
Yes.
aggressive. That's
Right.
at least in the Western world, we've kind of defined an
Right.
alpha.
Right.
And so just like, what?
Yeah, right, right, exactly. So you got some good alpha energy going on.
Yeah, so
Okay.
then it caused me to like really study what does that mean? What does it
Yeah,
truly mean to
right,
be an
right,
alpha? And
right.
if that is what the energy that I hold in me, like, what is my responsibility with that? What
I
is it that
love
I
that.
want to do with my life that I'm
I love
leading in
that.
a way
Yes.
that's responsible and takes into account like true leadership?
Yeah.
So that was the biggest one for me.
I love that. That's so amazing. And I love it. And I know Heather, so she's laughing and I'm like, but it's because the way that you show up energetically is so kind and loving and warm and soft. Like you as a person. And when I say soft, what I mean is like I really love being in your energy. I find you to be so calming and peaceful. And like there is a quietness in you, a stillness. That's the best way I can describe it. I'm probably flubbering that up into God knows what, but I really love that about you. So again, when you say alpha, in our culture, what we imagine is this, I mean, aggressive boardroom dude. I hate to say, and I'm not, listen, that's not meant to diss women at all, but you think about that and exactly what you said is true is our vision of what that looks like and feels like is really different. And I think that alpha energy and what you're bringing to the table is modeling through action. It's modeling through integrity. It's modeling through character. It's right. So it's to me the alpha is in standing in your real power. It's standing
Yeah.
in your authenticity. It isn't just telling people how to do everything or right
Yeah.
the right way or some of those more aggressive and assertive kind of styles that we imagine and call up. If you get to spend time with Heather, you'll feel that she's inviting you to come into yourself. And so to me, that kind of sacred space holder is something that is not common in our world. So you find somebody that has that kind of energy and it's like, more please. And so
Oh, thank
but I
you.
love that you bring that. And I think it's really fun that I know you enough that when you laugh about saying that you're like, have this alpha energy, I know you and can see the beauty and the way that that leadership shows up. And so, and this is brilliant for me, Heather, from a perspective of when I talk about women revolutionaries, every woman isn't going to lead the same way.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in that. I'm
Right.
interested in women that do it in the unique, subtle ways that aren't as necessarily this like big, bold, like I'm mouthy and I'm salty and I'm in your face. I mean, that's my right. I love when people show up sitting in this really beautiful, centered, grounded, I almost want to say earthy style vibration where they're just so connected and real. And so to me, it's like really learning the capacity to just lean into that awareness that leadership and your power isn't necessarily power the way that we imagine our culture.
Yeah.
Right? We have kind of messed up versions of what leadership and I think power looks like. So, power in is always my vibe. I'm like, we're not talking power over. I am a feminist. Yes, I'm not power over men. That's not where we're going. But I want women to really lean into this. And it's a great connection with, there was a woman in a program that Heather and I met in, but then there was a program I did after that. And she was a purpose coach as well. And so, quick story, because it's cute and it emphasizes exactly this point that I love making to people. So, we're sitting in one of our business meetings, and she was talking about trying to deliver her information, right, on purpose. And she's like, well, I'm just not very outgoing, and I'm not just very this, and I'm not very that. And I'm in the room, and I'm like, oh boy, right? Because I get it, because I'm in your face, I'm like in your face. So I get it, but I'm like, oh, girl, do you think that you're comparing yourself in any way, shape, or form
Mhm.
to what I do? Because there's just two of us in this small community.
Yeah.
And she didn't mean it in a bad way whatsoever. And all I wanted to say to her was like, you're fucking magical. Like, I don't know that she necessarily in that moment understood that what her power was
Yeah.
wasn't her stillness. It wasn't her faith. It wasn't her quiet countenance, her softness. I adored her. But she and I are not the same kind of coach. And who would hire me would not hire her, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And we need that. So to me, I love highlighting women that are really potent and they're really powerful and they're leading. They aren't in this very outward obvious, right? I think I'm so obvious. My power comes in like a wrecking ball, but that's naturally who I am and how I'm wired. That's not me being performative.
Yeah.
So I loved this woman bringing this up and that we got to dialogue about your magic is in your faith. It's in your stillness. It's in the way that you will deliver. The way you deliver is your magic sauce, right? And so thank you for brilliantly bringing that in because you are such another wildly amazing example of that. That leadership and being an alpha and being assertive and leading in any way in your world doesn't necessarily look a certain way. And so it's so energetic. And so Heather's talking into some of that purpose content that I teach too about it's the energy you bring, right?
Yep.
It's so much bigger than a word or a task or a role. So so I love this alpha energy concept. So would you do me a solid? It's so good. Oh my gosh. And I've never heard you say that. So this is really fun because like I have not heard her say that before. So I love it. The question I want to ask you, would you briefly, and I want to just, because I want, if someone's new and they're like, what the hell's human design? So thank you for hanging tight with us. I'm going to let Heather give us a brief, as concise as you can. And I get it, because
Yeah.
human design's a big concept. Okay. It is a really beautiful and comprehensive layered way of looking at yourself. So Heather's going to be able to give us like a scratching the surface version, but would you mind giving everybody just a little bit of bandwidth around, okay, we heard it comes from the stars and the cosmos. That probably sounds woo. Let's dial that in. Let's explain where it comes from. And then the five types, whatever you think will help people sort of get their arms around this a little bit. And then we'll keep talking. But I think it would be really helpful for people who, if they're new to human design, what actually is it? So
Yeah.
walk us through that if you would, please.
So the most concise way I've found to describe it is a combination of the chakra system and astrology.
Yep.
So it is a combination of four esoteric systems. So astrology being one of them. So it is
Yep.
based on your birth
Mm-hmm.
information, date, time,
Mm-hmm.
location. And
Mm-hmm.
then we bring in the I Ching,
Mm-hmm.
which is the Chinese Book of Changes, one of the oldest
Mm-hmm.
texts known to man.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the Kabbalah Tree of Life, and that's the channels, what is represented in human design there. And then we also have, oh gosh, um, the chakra system. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
each of those energy centers is one
Right.
of the chakras is
Right.
being represented there. So it's all about like really, like you said, it's the energy you show up with. It's
Yes.
your unique vibration, frequency that you bring
Yes.
to life,
Mm-hmm.
to the world that you share with the people around you.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, like the ideal is we all want to be like operating at our highest vibration. We all want to be operating in a way that feels good, where
Right.
we're perpetuating good things in the world
Mm-hmm.
because everything we do and say impacts another person in some
Hmm.
way.
Right.
And so human design is going to show you how to be in the best alignment with yourself so that you're bringing your
Yes.
best energy forward.
Yes.
So the five energy types then are showing us there everybody's going to be, um I keep wanting to say diagnosed, but
I mean, kinda. I mean, it's its own way. And like it is kind of yeah. And the word for that, I'm like, huh. The type. I don't know. Yeah, I
they're
got
typed as a specific energy type. There's five of them.
yes.
And, based on your birth information and
Yes.
all of that, where the planets were at the moment of your birth is what you were imprinted with.
Yes.
So those imprints, they stay with you. They are a part of who you are, who you came to be. And I deeply believe that, we are here with these soul contracts and
Mm-hmm.
we chose that exact moment
Mm-hmm.
and the
Mm-hmm.
people that we would be born
Do
to.
life with, right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we are here with a very specific purpose. And so
Yes.
human design shows you what that purpose is. And it shows you like how you're meant to go through life to have the impact you're here to have. So the five energy types are the manifester, the manifesting generator, the projector, and the reflector. And each one of these types is going to have a different way of interacting with the world
Right.
because we all are operating with different energy levels.
Right.
So you can't ask a reflector to show up the same as a generator
Mm-hmm.
because they just literally don't have the physical energy in the
Right.
same way to do the
Exactly.
role.
Exactly.
So it's going to show you then, based on your energy type, what your role is. Like,
Mm-hmm.
am I here to do the work or am I here to guide the work?
Exactly. So are you here to create it? Are you here to amplify it? Are
Yes.
you here to elevate? It's to me, I
Yes,
think about it the way that you're wired. I mean, I don't want to put
exactly.
words in your mouth because this is not my specialty. I wish it were, but it's not. 'Cause it's brilliant freaking shit. But it is, I like it because out of the five types, what can happen is the five types by themselves sort of inform you. Does that,
Yeah,
so I mean, I want to, and again, if I F something up, please be like, that's wrong. But as far as I can tell, each type sort of has a certain set of qualities that are probably pretty transferable. Okay. So even just knowing your type is a cool tool to kind of read a little bit and understand, like, oh, okay, in general, this is some information. The real benefits in having someone do a reading for you is that the depth starts to come in, where now I'm not just part of this group, this five types, right?
yeah,
This type I am. Now I get to take my type, and now underneath all of that is this really beautiful layer complexity of who you are, how
yeah.
you show up. And so to me, knowing that is so powerful. So one little nugget that I picked up in the talk with Heather, that was really powerful. This is going to sound, it's going to sound really funny because I know today it's like, oh my God, that's not life or death. But I really was curious about doing Zen meditation. And
Mm.
I'd always been like, oh, I'd read this book by, oh my God, I'm brain for his name, Michael something. I'm so sad right now because he's like famous. And I'm like, why right now is his name, of course, like out my brain. But I read this brilliant book and he was talking about Zen meditation. And I was saying to Heather, I said, I've often thought about, could I do this? And she's talking and she goes, your brain will never shut off. So and I say to her, I go, wait, oh, what? So like Zen, she goes, don't bother. And I was like, this is me. Fuck yes. Then I can skip that shit. Why would I? It sounds so, I mean, again, it's going to sound goofy if you're listening, you're like, that was the profound, that's not the only takeaway. But here's what it did was a super immediate action item. I could stop trying to do that.
Yeah,
Because what Heather was informing me was like the way that you're wired, your brain's always going to go. Your best effort isn't in trying to go and tell your thoughts to turn off because that's not who you are.
yeah,
And I was more likely to be frustrated and feel defeated or feel like I was a failure because I was going to go in and try this and it wouldn't have worked for me.
Yeah. And there's
So
nothing wrong with you.
no,
You,
exactly. So
the
it
way
took
you are is perfect.
exactly. It's
It's
perfect.
just that practice isn't correct for you.
That's not the right practice for me. It's why visualization and journaling and other forms of meditation are so powerful for me.
Yeah.
So this is where I say, and that's such a good because it's so like ambiguous and it's not gonna like, right, it's not like offensive to anybody. But I just want you to get that insight that in one fell swoop of talking to Heather about this stuff, I could be like, check, please. I don't have to ever try that because it will never work. Done.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
nice is it to know I'm not broken, I'm not weird, but my brain won't do that. She made my life easier in one fell swoop of a sentence. And I want you to really get, but I mean, I know it's, again, that's profound. The fact that a nugget of wisdom in that span of a time can alter something for you. That's the magic of what this is. And so
Yeah.
to me, so what we talked about there with like the five types, the five kind of, groupings of how you probably show up to start. And then we deepen that by going and doing like a full reading. But one of the things that I think is super magical about it, Heather, and then I want any insight you have about what you think makes it magic, because you spent much more time doing these readings for people and being immersed in it. But one of the things it does profoundly from my perspective is it highlights your power.
Hmm.
And I think that so many of the women I work with had the experience, and you opened this. I mean, you opened it so I was like, it was like I paid you dollar bills before we got on here. Like I was doing my life and I was doing my life for everybody else. And I was so dialed in because this was where I was at. And I was young and then I was a mom and I had all these things I was doing. And then I'm a partner. I've got all these things I'm juggling. And it's like you kind of go to sleep on yourself in a way without trying. And then I think we have to circle back sometimes. And it's like, whether it's the conditioning we've been in, the history we've experienced, but we want to reinvent, right? I feel like that's kind of this common theme that the people I work with are coming because they want to reclaim themselves.
Yeah.
And so to me, what I really want them to do is get their arms around their power again.
Yeah.
Where did I disconnect myself on accident? This is not intentional. This is not a broken person thing. It's not, it's your life in. And
Yeah.
life will get busy for us, and we stop focusing on ourselves as women. Very commonly, we're so busy doing careers and children or other endeavors or being a partner, or whatever that might look like. And it's easy to get lost. And then all of a sudden
Yeah.
you come back and you're like, oh shit, I have lost my way. Where am I going? Who am I anymore? I know that she's in there, but it's like I maybe have to go back in and access her. And so
Yeah.
that's my favorite is bringing women back home to themselves because you're not gone. And I also don't believe you're becoming something. I think you're already all the magic that you're ever going to be in this lifetime.
Peeling away the layers.
Exactly. It's just peeling away the layers to really understand who you are. And so this is a way to create a relationship with yourself that is really powerful to me. The insight that you take away from human design readings is really potent and it really does have this way of highlighting your power, your
Mhm.
purpose. So for me, like I always love when clients come in if they've had a human design reading, or I'll encourage them to go have a human design reading. Because I'm like, trust me, we're going to get brilliant nuggets of wisdom that then we don't have to work so hard to get. They're
Yeah.
going to come through human design pretty freaking clearly that all we're going to do then is take that insight, that wisdom, and amplify it. So it's
Hmm.
why I love it so much. What are the other magical pieces? You have been with so many people, Heather. Is there any like magical stories or experiences or something really potent that you're like, oh, it was so harnessed in this or this moment that you're like willing to share with us? Because I think it's really, I want to share a couple of mine and the way that I see it from my clients and how. Let me share one more story. Because I had one person not long ago do a reading with Heather and came back. She was like, that was fucking amazing. She's like, that was so clear. And she helped me understand because the first experience that she had was like, she came back was hilarious. She goes, so I'm an angry man.
She was awesome. I loved
Oh
working
my
with
God,
her.
she's the funniest, is she not? She goes, apparently I'm an angry man by my read. And I burst out, I go, you're not an angry man, Jesus Christ. Right. So all right, back up, beep, beep. But I don't do it justice because this is not my bandwidth, right? It's not my specialty. So I think for her to sit with Heather, and now when I hear her say, oh, this is how I'm wired. Oh no, that's not my thing, but this is my thing. She already has a direction in her head. In her heart.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
so fucking cool to me. It's so sick. Like that is so cool. So to me, watching her now know I can stop fighting, much like I realize I can stop fighting to be this way and instead embrace that this is where my magic is. And when I
Yes.
put my energy in where my magic is, it's like bonus extra, right? So I
Yeah.
wanted to share a story, even a client that Heather and I have shared that felt like that was such a profound takeaway for her. So that's one story. But Heather, what other ones do you have? Are there memorable moments or just like some really beautiful, profound magic you've seen that you're willing to share with us?
Yeah. And to speak to that point about like how we lose that connection with ourselves,
Yeah.
it happens one decision at a time.
It does. Oh, it's so
One
well said.
decision at a time. We give our
Yes.
power away and we're thinking like, oh, it's not a big deal, whatever. I just don't want to rock the boat or
Yeah.
I don't want to cause a problem.
Yes.
Whatever. It's okay.
Yes.
But we consistently do that over and over and over again to the point where it's like, wait a minute, what even do I want now? Who even am I? How did I get to this place? Because I've made so many decisions out of alignment, just to
Yes.
make other people happy that for me, I woke up one day and I was like, how did I get here?
Yeah, same. At 40,
Yeah.
how the
And
hell did I get
so
here? It's crazy. Yes.
through human design, it shows you then one decision at a time, you can come back into alignment.
Well said. And that's brilliant. Say it one more
Yeah.
time.
One decision at a time, you can come back into alignment.
I
And
love
it's really tuning into like, what is it that brings me joy?
that.
Turning
Yes.
that focus inward again. What is
Yes.
it that lights me up? What would feel good to me? And when we
Yes.
operate from that place of prioritizing ourselves, so much as women we're taught that that's selfish and how dare you, but really then that is honestly the best thing you can do for everyone around you, for your
Exactly.
relationships, because then
Exactly.
we're no longer living in this place of resentment
Exactly.
and we're not having these expectations of like, well, I did this for you and I expect you to appreciate me and
Right.
repay it and be reciprocal. And
Right.
then that doesn't happen. And then we're all butthurt and we're
Exactly.
like, oh my God, and then we're living from
Yes.
this defeated place.
Right.
And that was totally my story.
Yep.
And so then learning the magic of boundaries of
Yes.
like, okay, well, if it's right for me, it's right for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it doesn't seem like it on the surface,
Yep.
even if this person's gonna, maybe be upset with me in the moment. The biggest thing for me, it was like a fear of conflict.
Okay.
So anything to avoid conflict is
Mm-hmm.
how I ended up in, this place where I was like, who am I and whose life am I living?
Yeah.
But then learning like, oh, actually conflict can be really empowering and really healing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that was like, I longed for intimacy,
Yes.
but avoiding conflict kept me from the thing that I wanted
From
most.
intimacy. Isn't that so? It's
Yeah.
so, because boundaries, I think that's so funny. And you and I are going to be talking about boundaries in a little while. But I think boundaries are so interesting because people get really funny about them. Like when I taught them back in my therapy practice in my more traditional therapy days, I think people had this idea that boundaries would be a line between you and someone else. They didn't understand that that line is actually the sweetness to create intimacy.
Yeah.
We have a backwards idea of it, like, oh no, but I want to be one with you. No, you don't. No, we do not want to be one with anybody else. We want to be one with ourselves.
Yeah.
So I think that's a
Enmeshment,
really
no good.
exactly, exactly. So, right, enmeshment's not awesome. Let's not lean for that. But I think that what you said is so true. And I also am willing to bet that there are a million women listening to this that also avoided conflict like the plague. I
Yeah.
hate
Yeah.
conflict. I will go into it, but
Uh,
only because I know that it's important, but I freaking hate it. So I
yep.
just know so many of us listening are going to be like, oh, raising the hand for someone
Yeah.
who's like, please,
Yeah.
Jesus, make the conflict stop. Go ahead, sweetheart. But you were definitely realizing that you wanted to come away from that kind of behavior of avoiding conflict, and you realize the importance of like, no, I'm going to have my voice again in order to
Yes.
feel right. Yeah.
And that's taking back your power through
Yes.
actually vocalizing
Yes.
your own needs, your own
Having your
desires.
voice. Hell yes.
Yeah. So you had asked for some stories about particular like
Yes.
people and what I've witnessed. It's super easy for me to talk about my kids because of course I know all their types and
Of
it
course.
like I've gotten to like go through the journey and watch them.
Of course.
So my youngest is a projector and a family of manifesting generators and a generator, you know?
Yep.
And so like she so different than the rest of
Mm-hmm.
us, you know, because we're all
Mm-hmm.
just like go, go, go. We have all this energy here to do work and like
Mm-hmm.
be constantly like moving and going from thing to thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then so projectors aren't built like that.
Mm-hmm.
No, they don't have all of that physical energy to go
Mm-hmm.
out and do things. And so every time we would like, as a family, be getting ready to go do some activity, and she'd be like, I don't want to, I'm tired. And I finally learned, like, when she was old enough, of course, to stay home by herself,
Right.
to be like, would you like to do this? Because they need to be invited.
Okay.
And then her answer would be like, no. And would it be more restful and more enjoyable for you to just
Yes.
have some time in your own energy doing your own thing?
Yeah.
And then we could go do the activity. She didn't have to come along with it.
Exactly.
And then we didn't have to fight about it all the time.
Exactly.
And then,
Exactly.
oh my gosh. So that was life changing. Just
Yes.
understanding like
How
we
to
don't,
support. I mean, I think
yeah,
we don't know how to support each other because
yeah,
even if you're talking about love languages, and that's a cool thing too. We're not talking about, but I'm just saying that's one small piece. But
yeah,
what this does is, I think, give so much more depth. And then again, what you do is if you understand how your partner, your children, whomever around you, business partners, whomever function, we can be more respectful about how someone shows up in the world, what their
yeah,
energy is, because otherwise we're coming in cramming in like, but you got to come on the hike with us and you got to come do it, right? And somebody else might be like, hell to the nah. That is like the last thing in the world I would want to do
yeah.
because of how I'm wired. And can we respect how I'm wired that I just don't have to fit into a box that's been created by somebody else? And so that's
Yes,
so beautiful that you can then show up and love your child differently by respecting their needs in a whole different way, right? It just opens up these
exactly.
gigantic doors. And so what a beautiful example of how this information is so profound. It's profound for us to know ourselves, but it also really deeply helps us understand and relate to other people around us for sure.
Yeah,
So
100%.
so important, so beautiful. So
And it is the science of differentiation. It's a highlighting our
the
differences.
uniqueness of
The
us, which I
uniqueness,
love. And so to
yes.
me, it's like that's also part of the money of what I'm teaching women about purpose is really understanding and harnessing the unique qualities that you have.
Yes,
And so to, right,
exactly.
it's understanding that. And so sometimes we don't really know. I know that sounds terrible. Like, what makes you unique? And if you'd ask somebody just in conversation, I feel like most of us would kind of like stumble around a bit. We might land on a couple things, we might, but we also might be like, I don't know.
Yeah,
You know, like we really might be scared to claim it. We might not necessarily see it. It's part of your nature. So I think when it's our nature, we sometimes can't. It's like blinders, right? So it's like you
exactly.
might just do something and not know that that's this really unique quality or characteristic about you.
Yeah, we
So I
take it
think
for
it's
granted.
exactly because we do take it for granted because it's just how we do things. We don't know, right? So, I found out I was an energy healer at 40. I had no fucking idea I was an energy healer. I was like, what do you mean? I'm a what? And I was like, I just did this my whole, I didn't know it was something different
Yeah,
until I had someone help me see that, explain that. So that to me is big information for us to have in our
yeah,
corner is like that what does make me unique, what how do I function best, where will I best serve my purpose, right? And so to me those pieces, they free things up for people, Heather. I mean, I don't know if you, that's what I see when I see people. I know as my experience is like it breaks something open so you can stop going against your grain. And
yes,
that I think we spend so much time in our lives swimming upstream trying to be or do a thing that really doesn't fucking fit us. It really doesn't.
Yeah,
We
we
just want it
adjust
to.
ourselves to fit our circumstances
Yes.
instead of
Yes.
adjusting our circumstances to
To
fit
fit
everybody
us.
else. Yes.
Yes, it's so we're sort of backwards, right? And so to
Ooh.
me, this is where the magic lies is moments like that. Are there other magical things that have come I mean, there's probably too many stories if but I want to like give you the opportunity to highlight a couple of places where you've profoundly see this come through. And one was your child, and this like that's not going to be how they need to show up and have recharge time or what that's not going to be. What other things have you seen come through where you're just like, yeah, that was that it was a profound moment that it changed something for somebody. I mean, there's probably a million.
Yeah, so I love the profiles. So it's these two numbers
Yes,
that
yes.
describe it's the
Yep.
costume you wear to the play of life. And one of the numbers is conscious and one of them is unconscious. And
hmm
so it's this binary of
hmm
who we are. And so when somebody begins to understand their profile and how they're just relating to other people in life,
hmm
that's always profound. So
That's so
line
cool.
fives, especially because line fives live in this like projection field.
hmm
Others are constantly projecting onto them that they
hmm
are here to save the day.
mm
And so they have this like expectation that
hmm
their role is to just take care of everybody and be
Right.
the emergency contact, on
Yep.
speed dial
Yeah.
for
All the time.
everybody's
Yep.
everybody's emergencies. And so for line fives to learn that, okay, yeah, that's something I'm really good at, saving the day. Like I'm actually, that's a gift of mine. I'm not a line five, so it's not. But Jen is.
I don't know. She's talking. I'm like nodding the whole time. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. That's me. Uh-huh. Keep going. Yes.
So
Go
that's a gift that you have.
ahead.
But again, you can easily get sidetracked,
A
and
thousand percent.
that becomes your whole life is rescuing,
That's
rescuing,
it, the account of
rescuing.
then the responsibility you feel and being able
Yeah,
to separate from that and understand it isn't the only thing you're here to do is
exactly.
huge. And that wisdom. So yeah, well said,
So
Heather. That's
then
a beautiful
you have the ability to choose, is this something that I actually am capable of
one. Right.
fixing? Is
Right.
this in my wheelhouse?
Right.
Do I have the energy for this?
Yeah.
Is this person consistently asking me to put out their fires? Am
hmm
I enabling them? So many questions you can
Oh,
begin to ask yourself.
exactly.
Is this really the best and highest use of my time?
And how many women listening right now are nodding? How many women are right now? I'm not kidding. I wish I could see everybody's profiles. Like I want to
Yeah.
like get all the listeners in here. Um, Do you relate? I'm just willing to bet there's so many women that are like, uh-huh, I feel like my job is to save everybody in one way or
Yeah.
shape or form. And so, and is it really? No.
And you get to discern the people and projects that you take on. And if it's
Precisely.
not a hell yes, then it's a
Then
hell
it's a
no.
hell no. Exactly. So I
Yeah.
love that. That's well said. And so, yeah, your profiles are another big, really cool piece. So
Yeah.
what's neat is there's like the more graspable components of human design, which are your type and then that profile, which kind of give you instant information. And am I saying that okay-ish,
Yeah.
Heather?
Yeah. And
Okay.
your authority.
And your authority. So there's like kind
Yeah.
of a few layers that are a little bit like, here's a description. Then there's going to be all of the actual stuff that's going to be very unique to you based on your date of birth and all those other pieces, right?
Yeah.
And so,
Then we get
and that
into the
gets
date.
meatier to try to explain on a
Yeah.
podcast. Um,
Yeah.
but do yourself a solid, honestly. And if you have never been exposed to human design, I'm serious. Run, do not walk. Trust me when I say it will change your life and the way that you look at things. And in a minute, Heather will tell you where you can find her, all those things. So we're going to let her do that as well. I want to give you something to do. Okay. So I was telling Heather before we sign in, one of the things you guys know that I am big on is action. Okay. And so I'm just probably asked some of those people that this is not in their human design. I'm like, but you're supposed to take action. So maybe you're not supposed to, but some of us are. And so if you want to know if you're supposed to be an action taker or not, you can ask Heather. But what I do want to encourage how to think about these things, okay? Where are you giving power away?
Mhm.
So, 8 questions. So, I'm going to give you a handful of things to just think about and then let you sit in that. It doesn't, I mean, again, always, you guys know I love feedback and we love to engage with you guys. If you want to go in the Female Revolution, our community on Facebook, we would love, love, love to have you added there and hear your insights about where do you give your power away. What do you want? What are you wanting right now in your life? Like, what are you wanting to create, right? What kinds of power do you want to harness? Where are you going, right? What parts of you might you be fighting internally? Because I think Heather used this language. I thought this was brilliant. What are you internally fighting with yourself about? Because I think sometimes this is that like there might be a misalignment there, right? This is how to read. I think this is why I'm asking you not to tell you how fucked up you are, rather to say, right, what pieces might I be able to dive into to understand myself more completely? How can I have a better relationship and knowledge in myself? Self-awareness, and this I meant to start with this, and I didn't. Here we are in the last what, however many minutes, and I'm like, hey, by the
Yeah.
way, self-awareness is good. What a dork. Um, Self-awareness is absolutely a cornerstone of one of my value sets. It is something I clearly, obviously, as a therapist, I know Heather has been diving into self-awareness in terms of her practice in her own life for years and years and years, like I have been. So I really believe that we grow the most and we live in the best alignment when we're doing self-awareness practices.
Yeah.
That is why I love them so much, because they just show us the spaces where we have strength and the spots where we struggle and make sense of that for ourselves so we can minimize the impact of this and emphasize the impact of this, right? So it isn't that we're not going to have challenges and struggles, that's not real. But if I can balance them better and I see what they are, now I can work with it. I can't work with what I don't know. No
Yeah.
one can, right? So this is why I love practices like this and experiences like this where you go and you have this brilliant reading and you get to walk away with this incredible awareness and insight. Okay. So what might you be fighting internally? Right. So I just want you to answer this question for yourself. Like, what am I duking out inside that might be two parts of myself? And they might really just be telling me that there's a misalignment. It isn't broken. You're not fucked up. You're not able to be put, you're not Humpty Dumpty. We just need to understand what are you fighting on the inside so we can put that back together, right? There's a way to make sense of that and make peace with it. And then have a voice.
Hmm.
I mean, I think one of the things that I would really encourage you to practice is always having a voice. I mean, that's entirely my jam. I don't know how to shut myself up. So you're talking to the wrong person, but I want you to have a voice. So where might you need a voice in your life right now that you're not using? Okay. Um, Heather, any other suggestion? These are just, I
Yeah.
want to give them things to like gnaw on and work in, and you don't have to come back and answer to anybody rather, but these are just kind of invitations to you as you're listening. Where could I lean in and dive into this? Heather, do you have any other suggestions or thoughts for practices?
The one that immediately came to mind is what can you give yourself permission to let go of?
Ooh. Ooh, say it one more time.
What can you give yourself permission to let go of?
Ow, ow. Give yourself
Yeah.
permission to let go of something.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, I'm just writing it down. I freaking love it. Okay, so Heather, do you have any favorite resources, suggestions, songs, anything for the listening group of women we have, the powerhouse women that listen to this? Do you have a favorite book, a favorite something, right? What's your kind of female revolutionary kickassery, big power energy? What's your favorite like resource that you'd be willing to share with us?
Yeah, so a book that I read this past year that like really changed a lot for me
Okay.
that I just share it with everyone now.
I love that. Lay it on me.
Existential Kink by Carolyn Elliott.
And I have never read it.
So good.
Oh my God. Okay, what's the name again?
Existential Kink.
Kink.
Yep.
And then it's by who?
Carolyn Elliott.
Carolyn Elliott. Oh my God. I'm on it. What do you love about it? Why? Tell me
Okay.
about like just
Yeah.
like, like as much as we can condense it, what do you love about it? Like how does it
Yeah.
light you up?
It is all about self-awareness, becoming aware of our unconscious motivations.
Love it. Ooh, it's
And I
just
feel like it goes so hand in hand with human design
I bet.
because so much of who we are is unconscious.
Yes.
And so it brings you into this
Yeah.
place where you do these practices just through observing yourself and the circumstances of your life
Oh my gosh, I love
and
it.
understanding, like, why is this happening?
Yeah.
Oh, because there's a part of me that
Yeah.
actually wants this to be happening.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And figuring out what part of you that is and acknowledging it and giving it permission to be
Yeah.
there,
Absolutely.
loving it, and
Yes.
everything
Yeah.
changes.
Yeah. No, so brilliant. And so thank you. Because like to me, I always love resource. I'm gonna go buy this. Actually, I'm gonna get it on Amazon because I'm gonna take it with me on my upcoming retreat. I'll have some time so I can sit and dive into that because that would be beautiful. Um, the thing that I think is interesting that this brings me to is I'm going to be doing a retreat in a little bit, and I want to bring this home because I think this is so important to me. One of the things I realized in the last probably year of my life is I think it was rolling around in there. I don't think I articulated it the same way, but I think what I've really landed in is I think that women, this book, so as you're talking about these concepts, I'm like, it's so much about the relationship you have with yourself.
Yeah.
There's so much about making peace with aspects of you. It's shadow work, it's all that stuff, right? Kind of like on steroids. But I'm just saying that I think it's so much about bringing peace to these parts of ourselves that sometimes don't feel as beautiful and as lovely and right. And understanding that there's a place for all of that, but learning how to nourish and nurture your nature that
Yeah.
like
Oh, I love that.
you are wired the way that you are wired for a beautiful reason and to really harness where that power is and where it isn't, right? And just knowing that about yourself and then turning all of this action that we take that I think we've spent curating to turn to other people
Mhm.
because we're super good nurturers and nourishers ourselves for everyone else.
Yeah.
That's kind of what women are conditioned to do. So
Yeah.
we're busy doling out our whole lives to everyone else. And then it's like, wait, 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 wait. I need to learn how to do this to me.
Hmm.
I need to understand how to have boundaries for me, loyalty to me, good
Hmm.
communication with me. I need to be able to take those things that I have given and gifted to the world around me, and I need to turn them inward.
That's how
And
you
I,
upgrade your life.
yes, exactly. But it's like, to me, it's like so fun because it's so directly correlates with my passion for this next retreat because it's like I just had this big awakening for myself. Like I have done for everybody in crazy ways. And have I ever really slowed down to realize that I have not turned that inward? And that was a big mind blowing moment. And I was like,
Yeah.
we got to fix this. So
Yeah.
that is how the entire foundation of this next retreat was born because I was like, we all need this. What are your thoughts on that, Heather? I mean, what are your thoughts on the relationship to ourselves? And like, I just kind of pick your brain and then I will let you tell everybody how to find you. But I'm just like, do you have any finishing thoughts on that idea? Because it's something I'm just so big in right now. My brain's like consumed with it. So
It's the crux of everything. Your relationship with yourself
yeah.
will determine the quality of your relationships with everyone
It
else.
totally does, isn't it? It's
Uh,
foundational that it's the
yeah.
more that we nurture this within
Yeah.
ourselves, the more bandwidth you have to give it to others. I think that's really
Exactly.
that
And
quirky thing.
that's where that whole concept of like giving from your overflow, and we can hear all these like cliches, but if we don't really understand what does that mean until
Exactly.
you put it into practice,
Exactly.
and then you're like, I
Oh,
don't even know what
shit.
overflow is because I've been a bone dry cup forever.
Exactly.
Like once you
Exactly.
start to like pour into yourself and you set
Exactly.
those boundaries and you treat yourself the way you want other people to treat you,
It's
And then it
profound.
takes this layer of expectation off of your relationship.
Yes. It eases it up for other people. When you
Yes.
love and nurture and nourish yourself, other people don't have to do that for you. So it opens up a door in a
But
way that
also, it makes them
is,
want to even more because the expectation is
is
gone.
gone. It's so yeah. Oh,
It's the whole paradox of like people don't want to do, they don't want to feel needed. They want to feel wanted.
yeah.
And if they feel
Yes.
this desperate energy of like, you have to do this for me, it's
Yes.
such a turn off.
It is. It's a turnoff and it's impossible though.
And it's
That's right. The
impossible
other
because,
fact is that
yeah,
people
they
can't
can't
do
read your
shit for
mind.
us, right? They're
Yeah.
here with us.
They
So
can't sit there and take that bath for you.
exactly.
They can't, they can't sit there and like say no to every person in your life who's bossing you around. Like, no,
No, and they can't
do
do
that.
your education. They can't do your
Yeah.
work. They can't.
They can't manage your emotions.
No, it's your job. And so to me, it's really, I think this next year of my life, but also this next year of dedicated work is about really harnessing, helping women take that power, that awareness, and freaking use it to devise a love and relationship for themselves so
Yeah.
that that power can really shine in the world. Because I think until we go in and heal and love ourselves and learn how to nourish, then we're like really big power, right? Because now I'm
Yeah.
like cared for and I'm charged up. And if
Yeah.
I'm like a limp noodle trying to show up and do big work, it's real hard to lead from that kind of energy. So
Yeah.
we need to harness and charge ourselves. And maybe you're a quiet charger, right? Maybe it's like Heather's alpha, right? Or my friend Eris that I was talking, she's like brilliant and but it's softer and it's still and it's quiet. That is effing leadership. But it's knowing yourself enough to know what that's going to look like and how that's going to show up. And then you can start to really harness and hold that space. And I think that is like where the money is. Absolutely. Um, so, Heather, tell everybody where they can find you. And I am so serious. Go to her site, have a reading. I mean, like, I adore Heather. Like, I love her as a human being and as a friend. Like, above anything, this is business related. And also, I'm going to tell you that she is going to bring a gift to your life that it touched my life. I will never unknow the things that Heather taught me. And to just know I'm scratching the surface with what I shared with you. So there is so much to be had in her presence and her knowledge and her wisdom and how she is able to deliver that to you in such an understandable, brilliant way. So just again, I'm going to strongly shout out that you go and have a reading with her, but also just she is such an incredible resource. So where can people find you, Heather? Let them know kind of how to track you down because I know women are going to want to connect and get some of this information that we talked about today right in their hands. How can they do that?
Thank you so much, Jen. Such
You're
a
welcome.
compliment.
You're
You
welcome.
can find my website at hivibheather.com. So it's HIGHVIBEHEATHER dot com.
Hmm.
If you scroll down towards the bottom of the page on the left-hand side, you'll see some resources and you
Hmm.
can get a free chart there. And that will just be a little intro, my free gift to
Get you
you.
started.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. So you know what your different types are and all of that. And I also have some other resources on my website, some very low ticket, just trainings
I
on
love that.
getting to understand these bigger concepts within human design.
Yes.
One on the five energy types, one on the authorities, one on profiles, just to
Love
help you
that.
understand, like, oh, what are the different things and where do I
Hmm.
fit in? And then it
Hmm.
helps you understand also the people in your life and how you can relate to them.
Hmm.
So, yeah,
I
like
love
I said,
that.
I do readings and
I love
it's my
that.
favorite. It's really fun for me to get to just share with people deeper
Yes.
insights into their lives and
Right.
help them get their lives back on trajectory.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And I know that you do that with spades. Like I just know it. And so it's brilliant. What Heather is offering is you can go to her website, you can scroll through, you can do your free reading. You're already going to get incredible information just from doing that. Again, I'm going to strongly encourage you. I think once you get the bite of it, the worst part is you go get it, the little bite, you're like, oh shit, now I'm hungry for more. Like it is
Yeah.
totally, it's because you get like, oh my God, this is so amazing. And now I like want
Have
more.
you seen?
It totally, it's so fun. It is literally the most beautiful process. So I do strongly recommend. In the event though, one of the things I really admire about Heather is Heather has some really brilliant options. If for some reason finances are really tight and you're like, gosh, you know what? They are so reasonably priced. So even if you want to deepen from your free experience of getting your chart component that you're going to get, there's multiple ways you can connect in with Heather and find her magic. And if you can, I do, like I said, I can not recommend enough having a full reading because I just know you're going to walk away a changed person. And so that is the magic. And of course, Heather is a badass revolutionary woman. Otherwise, she would not be sitting here with me because that is her energy. She brings the most brilliant kindness and love and patience and quiet holding space. And I know that you will love and adore the work that she brings and how she shows up for you. So I cannot recommend it enough. I will put that in the show notes so you guys have access to her information as well, so you know how to access that. Any final thoughts on anything before we close today, Heather? Any other like takeaways, anything you'd offer revolutionary badass women listening to this, anything else that you would want to end with?
I guess I would just want to say like it's never too late.
Never,
It's never too late to like
never.
build that relationship with yourself
I
and step
agree.
into that
I
self-awareness and
agree.
you're always on time.
You will show up in exactly the time that you need. And so that's so
Yep.
well said that, don't second guess. If you're feeling a pull, and I think Heather and I are big on intuition and these healing modalities. I mean, this is part of how we got to be friends in the first place. If you feel a pull, that is never an accident. And so to me, listening to this today, if you're like, oh my gosh, I need more of this, that's again, lean in and just trust that you're going to get where you need to get when you're ready to get there. And
Yeah.
I think that that's really a piece of this is all of our journeys. There is no one time schedule or time frame, right? We show up when we're ready and when we're ready to receive it. We're ready for the next layer of power or effort or leadership or whatever it is we're being called into. But trust yourself to lean into this journey because you will learn so much of value about yourself in the way that you relate to the world. And so I just know it'll be ridiculously transformative. It was definitely the case for me, and it has been for everyone that I've known that I've sent to go have human design work done. It's always profound. So thank you so much, Heather, for being here. I appreciate it again. Check out her book, Existential Kink by Carolyn Elliott. Did I say that right? Yes,
Yep.
Carolyn Elliott. Okay. Go check that out. And you'll see Heather again around. She's just going to be around in my world. I know that now that she's circled back with me, we're not going to let her go again. So y'all stuck with her as much as you're stuck with me. But Heather, thank you so much for your time today. This was such a brilliant and beautiful and fun conversation. I'm so, so grateful. And I just know that we're going to see more of your face and more of human design in my world. And so I'm super excited and hope that you get to be the one that brings that in. So
Thank you so much, Jen.
thank
I
you.
really appreciate the opportunity to speak
Yeah.
to your people.
Oh, it was awesome to have you. And you guys know where to find her. Again, we'll check the show notes for that. But until next time, friends, blessings, love, and light. This is Jen signing off of the Female Revolution. And we are so ready to support your journey in this. And so go check out our other episodes. Check out Heather. Go get a reading with her. And otherwise, we will see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.